Hi, I'm Cahill Doyle, and today for my industry research project, I'll be talking about video game technology and how it's being implemented into film production. So the presentation is based around two articles from American Cinematographer. One talks about the production of The Mandalorian TV show and how it used game engines in order to help and facilitate the production process. The article just talks about game engines and how the game industry is helping with film production. So, today we're going to talk about two game engines specifically. One is the Unity engine, and one is the Unreal engine. These engines were originally used for real time applications such as video games. The two engines are being implemented at various stages of the filmmaking process. Mostly they're contributing to pre-visualization, tech visualization, and post-visualization. So here's a bit of background on the engines. The Unity engine was developed in 2005 and released for Apple products like Macintoshes, in the intention of making game development available for a large audience to develop 2D and 3D games. It has become one of the most popular engines used for game development. Notable games that were made with this were Cuphead, Monument Valley 2, and Ori and the Blind Forest. The other engine we're talking about today is the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine was originally released in 1998 for the purpose of developing first-person shooters, but has since made games spanning many genres. It has also become an engine well known for its high-end graphics and light rendering. Some notable games are the Batman Arkham Collection, BioShock, and Fortnite. So here's some more specifics about the technical side of the engines. The engines are able to generate fast images at high frame rates. So it does this by prioritizing performance over quality. This is important because it is trying to support quality images at 60 frames per second. So enhancements in GPU performance allow for the engines to render production quality imagery in real time. So an example of this is the example that's on the slide. That was made in a game engine. So, as you can see, it's very detailed and it looks like a cinematic image. So that's really cool. So other technologies that are also used in 3D rendering or VFX are the tools known as Maya and 3D Max. The problem with these is that they prioritize image quality over performance. This means that it can take hours to days to render a single frame of a computer-generated image. So now we're going to talk about the integration of game engines and game technology into film production. So due to technical developments of game hardware and engines such as Unity and Unreal, it's allowed game developers to mimic cameras. This means that they are able to mimic camera functions and aspects such as focal length, ISO, f-stop, shutter speed, film backs, and depth of field. The implementation of these camera controls has become known as the virtual camera. Before the virtual camera and the development of it, we were only able to show field of view. The controls of the camera and its development in the engines allow you to mimic the look of specific lenses, such as an anamorphic lens. So theoretically, you could switch from an anamorphic lens to a spherical lens, or you could switch from an 85mm to a 50mm lens. So the game engines also allow you to mimic how light works in the real world. This is due to the implementation of ray tracing technology. Now, ray tracing technology is mimicking how real light works and how it bounces off of things, or how it's cast from a source, or those various things. So it's supposed to make it look realistic. So because of all this new development and technology, it has allowed cinematographers and other filmmakers to develop their own games that mimic cameras, camera movement, and lighting. An example of this would be Matt Workman, who has developed a game called Cinetrace, which allows you to play the role of a cinematographer. But the real big deal about this is that you're able to set cameras up, you're able to set lights up, and you can even pretty much build your own set. And there's character models for actors, and there's various props you can put in, like a car or a fence or even a road. You could build a house, and then you're able to adjust lights and move cameras to where you want them to be. Just pretty much visualize what a shot would look like with a certain lens at a certain ISO, a certain f-stop, or whatever, before even doing any in-person field testing of cameras or even showing up on set. You could have it done before you even come up, and you can practice on the software. So that's really, really cool. Really cool program. So a few examples of some of the integration that's happening in film. So because of the development of the virtual camera and other technology we have for VFX, there's been brand new tools made for filmmaking. An example of this would be the volume. And the volume is shown here in the two middle pictures on the screen. So the volume is a soundstage, and it's made from a curved LED video wall. The volume also allows for the use of image capture, real-time photo image rendering, and motion capture to capture visual effects in camera. So the biggest benefit of this is that filmmakers are able to bring locations to the stage and allows them to render the virtual image correctly in the right position. The volume also allows for flagging and green/blue screens to be used. So this in turn, using the blue screen and green screen, relieves and reduces the stress of front production and makes for a more believable final image. So that's what they used in The Mandalorian. So a lot of those shots that you see of him on a different planet or whatever, they are most likely done through the volume. And you can see there's a background and then there's a foreground, and because of the other gaming technology and already existing VFX technology, they can track the position of the camera and it aligns all of it as needed inside the camera. So really, really cool technology. So all of these technologies combined allows for the camera to move freely around the set. All of this is made possible through video game rendering. Video game technology also allows for cinematographers to capture and move around in a virtual world. This has been implemented in films such as Lion King, which you can see an image on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see in the background the cameraman is moving in the virtual world, and that's being shown what he's capturing on the screen that the DP is looking at. So that's also really cool, the fact that you can move physically in a virtual space. That's so cool. So then, because of the implementation and development of the virtual camera and lighting replication in games, cinematographers and filmmakers are able to pre-visualize their film. This includes lighting, camera position, bouncing light, whatever. And this can be shown on the right-hand side of the screen. This is part of Cinetrace. These images on the right are part of the Cinetrace program that we talked about earlier in the presentation. So he develops this game that mimics lighting and camera positions and everything like that. And these show like the sets that he's built and the character models that he has. And then the top image shows all the stuff you can do with the camera, and the bottom image just shows you the general set and how it looks with lighting and stuff like that. So that's utilizing a game engine. More specifically, that's actually utilizing Unreal Engine, which is also utilizing ray tracing, which is getting you that realistic look of all the lights and the sources and everything. So in conclusion, the implementation of gaming technology in filmmaking is revolutionary step VFX work, allowing filmmakers to visualize and replicate shots before getting on set. Gaming tech will also help speed up the post-process by increasing render speeds. Lastly, it allows cinematographers to pre-visualize their shots in animated or VFX movies and physically be in the virtual space with a camera. Lastly, it allows cinematographers to pre-visualize those shots in animated or VFX-heavy films and physically be in the virtual space and film with a camera and have it all end up in camera. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this was interesting and insightful into the development of how gaming technology can help with VFX and cinematographers, shoot in those type of setups. Thanks.